A nationwide ban on evictions expires at midnight today, and we are taking an in-depth look now at why and the potential impact. The CDC put the eviction moratorium in place in September, saying increasing homelessness could cost people their lives during a pandemic. The Supreme Court decided it could only continue through the end of July without legislative action, but that hasn't happened yet. So tonight, 7 Action News reporter Kim Russell is taking action to help you get prepared if back rent is going to be an issue come tomorrow.
As we covered how the CDC's COVID-19 eviction moratorium is ending at midnight tonight, 7 Action News went on social media and asked the question, as a tenant, are you facing possible eviction? The responses we got overwhelmingly not sympathetic. People said things like, they should have been paying this the entire time, end of story. But is it that simple? People reached out to me who are facing eviction with heartbreaking stories. They say the stigma of being behind is real. One woman agreed to talk to me on the phone so long as I did not share her name.
I had a significant other that, he passed away, ended up passing away of COVID, and that was my help. It just left me with my single income.
Her heartbreaking story is just one of many in a state where approximately 20,000 people lost their lives to COVID-19. So how many people could find themselves impacted by the end of the eviction moratorium? A Census Bureau household pulse survey in March this year found that 12% of Michigan renters were behind on rent. That is about 210,000 people.
We're all very concerned about a tsunami of evictions.
Joe McGuire is an attorney with the Detroit Justice Center and often represents people facing eviction. He says we have gone through both a historic health and economic crisis at the same time, and his clients are trying to make ends meet.
We all have heard about the difficulties that people have had accessing unemployment benefits. A lot of people still haven't received unemployment benefits. A lot of people are still having a very difficult time, finding jobs even in this economy that are good for them.
As soon as a plaintiff or a landlord can file or execute a writ of eviction pursuant to Michigan law is 10 days after the expiration of the moratorium.
I spoke to Macomb County 42-1 District Court Judge Jennifer Ann Derry about what renters in trouble can expect. She says if you get an eviction hearing notice, don't ignore it.
Show up. Don't put your head in the sand. Don't act like it's not going to happen.
Missing a hearing can actually expedite the eviction. She says at her court they're working to connect renters with legal representation and COVID emergency rental assistance available.
I want people to know that there's still going to be help.
President Joe Biden has called on Congress to extend the moratorium so people have more time to file for COVID emergency rental assistance that has been sent out to states. Metro Detroit congressional representatives say they support an extension.
These are the most vulnerable among us. I represent the third poorest congressional district in the country. And I know and spoken to families that are so incredibly afraid that they will be on the streets.
There are going to be a number of us who are going to be pushing for this. And I don't make promises, though, when I know we don't know what the timing is.
The message, if you are behind, apply for help right away. The landlord for the renter I spoke to on the phone says she sent multiple tenants information on how to apply to help her and her tenants out.
I'm just waiting to hear back.
If you want to apply for that COVID-19 emergency rental assistance, I have a link where you can do that at our website, wxyz.com. Kim Russell, 7 Action News.
For more information,
Alright, Shalom, Michael. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakah, Kodash. I like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. I like to say Shalom to the elect that teaches his word in all truth, faith, and sincerity. And yeah, as you can see, pretty much the plagues have settled upon the planet Earth. We are now seeing the things that's going to contribute to the distress and anguish of the people of this world. We seeing with the torment and you becoming sad, and we seeing these things setting upon the planet Earth. And this is pretty much to balance it off, your pride, the pride of these people, this is how it's going to be balanced off. Matter of fact, let's start off with something real quick. This is the book of Revelations. So you got to understand that, you know, this is the time, or it tells you in the second of the 11th chapter, the time of the proud. Because the proud is the one that is in rulership, which is the so-called white man, Esau, Edom. And it have trickled down to the people, you know. Always something as sort of as you turn a faucet on and water come out, people take that for granted. How much more having an app to where you can hit send or pay and you got food coming 15 minutes or less, or you can buy you a house or a car, even box. Literally everything is at the tip of your finger by the way of an app. And that what contributes to the pride of these people, man. So the only way that can be balanced off is, matter of fact, let's just get it. This is the book of Revelations 18, verse 7. How much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously. See? These American people have been living deliciously. Just one of those things I just brought up. You turn a faucet on, a hot water heater. You know, it's countries now, you know, people haven't experienced that. You know, those people now that still have to go draw water. You know, how much more keeping your house on 72 all year round? And they're just scratching the surface, man. You know, but it says she have glorified herself and lived deliciously. See? And you proud with it. It says so much torment and sorrow give her. See? So that you gotta look at Grubhub and DoorDash. The trade-off is gonna be a major famine to hit this place. Because you have a restaurant on every block. So what's the only way to counter that? Famine, which there's going to be a famine like no other, where it's going to get to the point people are going to be reduced to cannibalism, man. Like we just played the clip dealing with the moratorium. Less than 24 hours. We see it, but really less than 5 hours now. When it hit midnight, pretty much the proceedings of those evictions is going to begin, man. You know? So that's that torment and sorrow. It says, for she said in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow and shall see no sorrow. And that's the mindset of these people. These people, man. That somehow they ain't gonna never fall off. They might take an L here and there, but somehow, some way they're gonna always bounce back. Somehow, some way they will always prevail. Because that's what the so-called white man presents, you know, and it's trickled down just to the regular American people. And a Moabite, that's an American. Jake, that's an American. They got that same mindset, you know. Verse 8, therefore shall her plagues come in one day. See, so because you're proud, you know, these plagues is going to hit you, and we in that one day, that period of time where ultimately it is going to lead to that perfect day. You know, the day of our Lord. It says, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine. See, that's what's going to take place. It says, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord power who judgeth her. And that's the icing on the cake. The fire was going to come by the way of those thermonuclear missiles. But before all that, before you even get to that point, death, mourning, and famine is going to take place. And we seeing the different things that's going to lead to those events. You know? We seeing the different things that's going to lead to these people being in distress. We seeing certain things going to actually lead to riots and, you know, like I said, the famine and martial law and these different race wars and food wars, and you know, those things are now being made manifest. But it's all for the destruction of America. See, this is the plans and purposes of Yahweh Shema Shah. The perfect will of the Lord is ultimately, out of everything said and done, the Lord's plan is to destroy America, man. And these are the steps that's heading toward, because these people are actually being destructured. Their pride is being taken away. They're being humbled. Matter of fact, let's get there. I think that's Baruch. How they're going to be humbled? Through distress, through anguish, being troubled. Oh, it tells you that in the book of Deuteronomy. A humbling agent, one of those humbling agents is suffering you to hunger. Because you can't play it off when you're hungry, man. You know? Motherfuckers always, they like to boast in what they have, because this is a materialistic world. See, you ain't gonna boast when the motherfucker tell you get out that house. You know? You ain't gonna boast when, you know, these certain things come down upon you. You ain't gonna have no choice but to be humble. So this is Baruch 4 in verse, we'll get to the point. I started at 32. Well, I started 31. Baruch 4 and 31. Miserable are they that afflicted thee, and rejoice at thy fall. See, because now we seeing the current status of the so-called white man. He's really miserable. Within his own kingdom, this man is miserable, man. Starting with these elites, all the way down to just regular old Joe Sixpack. You know? Because these elites really know what's taking place. They know we're in the midst of the transfer and the changing of the guard. While Joe Sixpack is trying to bring America back to the old days. And they don't really know what's taking place, but they know something ain't right about that situation. But all of them are miserable. Even 2/3 of our people, man. Oh, it tells you that. I know Yahweh Shah said that in Revelation 3rd chapter. You say that you are rich and you have need of nothing, but really you don't know that you miserable. You know? They're miserable as well. Because they trust in this system. They trust in the so-called white man, America. And look where it's gotten you. Now you looking over your shoulder. You hope you don't get evicted. You hope that stimulus check comes. Well, that's not the case. Only evil is about to come, man. It says, miserable are the cities which thy children serve. Miserable is she that received thy sons. And that's talking about America. See, this is the venue, the main event the Lord has chosen to show his power. We know judgment is going to take place on a global scale. But the main event is here in America. Babylon the Great, the uttermost parts of the world. Which goes into the end of the world and also at the end of time. So everything is right on schedule, man. You know? It says, for as she rejoiced at thy ruin and was glad at thy fall. See, because that's how America became great. Because of the blood, sweat, and tears of the Israelites. It says, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation. And we see in the beginning stages of it. For I will take away the rejoicing of a great multitude, and her pride shall be turned into mourning. And so how the Lord's going to take away the rejoicing? We seeing it now. They said these evictions, you know, it's a famine looming. That draft that's about to take place, which you women now, you might be on the front line. You know, like I said, the famine, the beasts of the field, and a plethora of other things that's not pleasant. That's how your pride is going to be turned in the morning. See, it's going to be a point in time you ain't going to be able to unwind and throw it on ESPN and hear them motherfuckers talk shit all day. The only mission on these people's mind And the time to come is what they gonna eat. You know, what they gonna eat, man. That's gonna be the only mission. You know, in the time to come, man. But we pretty much in the beginning stage of the destruction of these people and this beast system as a whole. You know, but that pride is now being traded in for torment and sorrow and anguish. You know, that's the only way to humble a proud motherfucker. You got to make them feel it. You know. Oh, matter of fact, what's that? Let's get that real quick. The book of Proverbs. Proverbs chapter 18 and verse I think it's 16, 18, bear with me. Proverbs 16 and 18. It reads, pride goeth before destruction. See? So this is this is the path of pride. You want to be proud, Lord will allow you to be proud, but ultimately the end game is destruction, man. It says, and a haughty spirit before a fall. See? So before the destruction takes place, before you fall off, you're going to be proud. You're going to be haughty. You're going to boast in your things that you have. Because you got a Benz, or you got this, you got that, your income or your good job. Well, okay, cool. Now what? When the money crash. Now what? When these grocery stores become empty. When the power go out throughout the land of America. When the money crash. Then what? You're going to fall off. You're going to be destroyed. You know? And that's the results of trusting in this place. Because being here and being acclimated, it's going to get to the point you're going to be compelled to be proud. Now you tricking off on the weekend, and you know. But it says pride coming before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. So yeah, you're going to be proud, but the latter end of pride is destruction, man. And that's what we're witnessing. These American people are now being abased, man. You know? They're now feeling it. Reality is setting in. This St. Luke 21, verse 25. And there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars. See? And don't we see the different signs in heavens, these different tokens? Lunar eclipse, solar eclipse, planet lining up. The chariot sightings. Those are the different signs in heavens to look for. And the key word is and, because it was going to ultimately, all these things will happen simultaneously. It says, and upon the earth, distress of nations. See? With perplexity. So upon the earth, distress of nations, because this, which dealing with that moratorium, that is happening throughout all over the land of America. That was just a video going on in Michigan. But all of Babylon is feeling this, man. As well as globally, is something happening. It's something going on in India right now. It's something taking place in China right now. And over there in Europe, Australia. Things taking place in South America. That's causing distress of the people. That's causing the people anguish. There is nothing comfortable or pleasing about the situation these people are going through these days, man. They got to look over their shoulder about something now. These are the things that we was to look for before the coming of our Lord, man. And it said the sea and the waves roaring. See, the people are being stirred up now. You know? Because when you lose it, man. And now they are witnessing that. You know, that so-called freedom, their rights, their comfortability is being slowly taken away from them. Even their necessities. It's gonna get to the point. The only way you're gonna be able to buy food and water, unless you got that thing, unless you got a proof that you got Mike Tyson jab, or unless you got that thing inserted in your hand or your forehead, you gonna be able to, you know, have access to the basic needs of life, which is ultimately food and water. Even that is going to be compromised. But that's what's going to contribute to the people being stirred up. You know what's going on? Is that Cuba? The money crashed. How much more these people going to, lose it here in America? You know, which we just in the beginning of it, man. We just in the beginning. It's only going to intensify. You know, so we can wrap it up. We're ending off on this. 2 Ezra 16, verse 18. The beginning of sorrows and great mourning. See, why we in the beginning of it? Because we still talking about it. You know, it's still videos, clips coming out and different articles to give you a heads up that it's here. You're going to notice the sorrows in the mornings are in its height because you're going to experience. You're going to know very well the time that we're in. Which we know, or tells you in Thessalonians, you have no need that I write unto you. For you know perfectly the day of the Lord come as a thief in the night. But we know it. We don't know the exact day, but we know we in that season, man. You know, we in the beginning of it. It said the beginning of famine and great death. The beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? See? So we're in the beginning stages of the destruction of America, which we are witnessing now, the destruction, the destructuring of this place. From the people to the infrastructure, everything now is being broken down, man. You know what I mean? It says, behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment, see? Which are whips. And it said, behold, why? Because we was going to, those things that's taking place throughout the world is for us to consider what's going to take place here in America, man. When the money crash, when the food becomes scarce, when the power go out, a plethora of other things that take place in these different countries, lockdowns. It was set up for us to consider what's going to take place here in America, man. You know, it says, but for all these things, they should not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of other scourges. See? Yeah, because it's set up for us to get right with Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You know, but these Americans, the pride of these people, they just think that's just something that's just reserved for them. Like America can't get touched. Get back. Like America can't get touched. Like we just read in Revelation 18, it said they shall see no sorrow. See? Because they think that's just a third world country. They might boast, these people boasting America's military. You know, not knowing that this is going to take place. This is where it's going to take place in its perfection, man. You think it's bad in Cuba or Venezuela, these different countries that's going through it. How much wait till you gonna have a third world country looking at America like you in a hell of a pit right now, man. The very countries that's deemed insignificant, and they gonna look at America like the cesspool that it really is. But it said these people will not be mindful of the scourge. They're not acknowledging the plagues that's taking place throughout the planet Earth. It says, behold, vegetables shall be so good, cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And like we just played that clip, it was a lot of people that actually, thought that they was going to be able to get these different stimulus checks. They was getting off on it. They wasn't able to pay bills. They thought they was in good case. Like somehow, some way, everything just gonna die down, and you're gonna just, But it said they're going to think that's the snare. They think themselves are being good case. It says, and even then shall evils grow upon earth. See, even that moratorium, because it was a point where this devil was making it known that that it was coming up. He kept pushing the date back, but now less than 7 hours, there's going to be a slew of people that's going to get that notice, man. It said, even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. See, that's what's about to take place, man. Especially here in America. This is going to be a trending topic. Evils here in America. The hashtag evils. That's the only thing that's about to take place here, man. There's nothing good that's going to come out of this situation. The different things that's taking place on the planet Earth. There's nothing good going to come from this. Only thing that's really good if you're in the right spirit is the destruction. Because then we know that the good can come. So yeah, Akim, I just hope that we edify. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, Ba'asham Rakha Kodash. I like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. I like to say Shalom to the elect that teach word in all true faith and sincerity. DTA, Abide Babal. Soon.